Hey again, everyone. We're back with another episode of Candid Coffee. I'm Doug,
I'm Phil.
and today we are drinking Diamante Negra, or Black Pearl, from Las Lajas.
Black diamond.
Black Diamond. Oh yeah, Black Diamond. The reason I said
pearl, yeah.
yeah. So you guys probably remember if you've been following us for a bit, Perla Negra, which is a really awesome coffee that we had. It's from the same producer, so Francisca and Oscar Chacon in Central Valley, Costa Rica. This is also a natural process, so meaning the coffee beans or seeds are dried with all the fruit on. But this one is a really interesting special process that I'll get into in a second. But Phil, just want to give us a quick overview of coffee from Costa Rica. What are we generally expecting?
Yeah, Costa Ricans tend to, overall, be a little more mild and balanced. They are also very consistent, in my opinion. So I guess the producers that we work with are more able to rapidly repeat the results year to year, which is great. They also tend to be expensive because coffee production is fighting for land with developers, and if any of you are living in a metropolis like we are, that is a tough fight. Yeah, and a lot of them tend to be honey and natural because of the restrictions on how much water needs to be purified as it leaves the processing from a coffee farm due to all the ecotourism, and Costa Rica has a really kind of great care for the environment. So they tend to use honey and natural processing, which uses less water.
Exactly, and this natural, I've already mentioned Perla Negra or Black Pearl. Also is a natural process. This one is that was a super awesome reserve, almost like Ferrari high-end coffee. This would be like the limited edition, signed by Burt Reynolds, high-end Ferrari. The Black Diamond is kind of their processing step above. And let me describe as best I can what they do. So these cherries are the coffee cherries are actually dried on vertically stacked beds inside a greenhouse rather than being open air outside. So you've got already more involved stuff there. And as the cherries dry, they're moved to higher beds to essentially slow down the drying process even further, because inside this greenhouse, heat, moisture, it sort of rises, so it slows down that process. And once they get to about 20% moisture, they go into bags for about 24 hours, sealed up, to kind of stabilize the cherries and sort of do an extra sort of controlled
osmosis, like the water regulates within each cherry and within the mass.
Exactly. So they're also turned and raked on the beds as they're dried before they move. That's an extra step, and then it goes back to the beds, to dry down to about the 10-ish% moisture content that then they go get dehulled and bagged up at, essentially.
Yeah.
So that extra step, all those extra steps, that extra work goes into creating this Black Diamond flavor profile, which is, man, it's awesome. It's super complex, red winey, boozy in a not off kind of way. It's really syrupy and full, and there's tons of flavor characteristics. Yes, you get all those red fruit kinds of things, but everything from peach to almost like a lime zest kind of brightness to it.
I would drive this Burt Reynolds signed Ferrari every day for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's already jumped up to one of my favorite coffees that we carry in the lineup. And that process, just those extra efforts really contribute to. I mean, you can taste it in this cup.
Yeah, the thing that impressed me about this, so Perla Negra is definitely one of my favorite coffees, just objectively. This one is maybe has less amounts of flavors. Perla Negra has a lot going on. This one to me is very clear in a red wine characteristic.
Yeah.
And for me that was extremely unusual in how it presents in this cup in the context of coffee. I never tasted a coffee that tasted like this, where it's just it tasted to me just like red wine on the table, very strongly so. And that is due to just Francisca and Oscar's attention to detail in the processing. A lot of roasters will really pay attention to inputs when we're roasting coffee, right? We want to know what's going into the roaster so that we can tailor the process to get a consistent result out. It's treating the inputs as variable, even on the same coffee as it goes throughout the season. Inputs is variable, process adapted to the inputs so that the outputs are variable. In large part, most coffee producers haven't got to that stage, if you're using that analogy. They kind of have a static process, which implies that the input is static, which results in an output that is variable. Which goes back to the thing that I say about the producers in Costa Rica that we work with. Their outputs are very consistent, and part of that is that guys like this, like at Las Lajas, are treating the inputs as they should be, as very variable. So they know what the acidity level of cherries is, or the moisture in the cherry, or just like they know what's going on in the coffee that they're receiving. And they have processes like this, or Perla Negra, or Alma Negra, which we actually just cupped and are bringing in this year. They have a yellow diamond. They have just a lot of different processes tailored not only just to give a different output, but based on variable inputs. And the thing that's allowed them to do is not only be consistent, but start selling the same flavor profile to roasters every year, which creates an insanely high demand. So if you don't book coffee and have a relationship with Lajas, and if you don't book the coffee well in advance, you're not getting any. If you're not in there and you're not already working with them as a roaster, they're sold out before they're done processing, and that's just a great position for a producer to be in. None of us would want to be in the position of creating a bunch of goods or services and then hoping people will come along and buy them, and even worse than being kind of variable every year. Like, well, this year they weren't so good. Hopefully people buy them. But that visibility to the inputs, especially in this case, is just one of those things that they do super well. And really is one of the reasons that I'm excited to work with them, aside from the coffee being, out of this world good, is that I view these sort of things as helping me understand and us understand where other farmers should be heading. So it's exciting, and I would definitely, we have a very small amount of this, so pick up a bag of this one. It's worth the money. It's an expensive coffee, but it is very good, even if you're not usually able to tell like one coffee from another, or still kind of on that path. Mm-hmm. This one's obviously different and very unique. Yeah,
if you're new to like the craft, specialty, artisanal coffee thing, and you're like, well, it all kind of tastes this, like this one will give you that aha moment and go, oh, like when you have a really good red wine versus like, oh, this just tastes like red wine. And I can't emphasize how red winey this is, in like the best sort of fruity but not sugary, juicy kind of way.
Yeah, it's just extremely like laser sharp and crisp, and it's an unusual coffee.
It's awesome. And if you're like me and Phil and you totally love the Perla Negra, jump on this now. It just launched what last week, I guess, and like you said, we don't have very much, the reserve Burt Reynolds signed Perla Negra kind of, coffee from Las Lajas, so get it while you can. On that though, Phil said we just cupped the Alma Negra. We've got a bunch of other really awesome coffees that are coming out in the lineup. Like I said, it's kind of new coffee season. We've got a bunch of really exciting new ones coming in. So stay tuned for those. Keep checking in these videos, and thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya. Oh, and also, Las Lajas is on Instagram. You should follow them. I think it's Las Lajas CR.
Yeah, so look those guys up. Yeah, Francisca and Oscar update, that sort of thing. So
also great. Okay, that's it.
Very cool. Bye for real.
Bye.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of Candid Coffee.
I'm sorry, I just had this fear that I didn't turn it on.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm like sure I did. Yeah, it's on.
Okay, sweet.
I just don't want to go. We've done that before.
Yeah, no, it's true. Okay, it's true.
Sorry.
Alright.